Okay, hi everyone. We have come to now our week 8, which is the final week of the semester. Since we won't be able to meet in live setting for the live online session this coming Thursday, I wanted to do a quick pre-recorded kind of an update for you, just to give an idea what to expect with this final week of the semester. So here's the plan of a couple of things that I wanted to hit with this short recording. And I'll try to make it very condensed so that there's a particular part that I will jump the video to automatically start from. So if you watch nothing else, I'm asking you to watch that. So the very first and foremost, I want to congratulate you for surviving to tell the tale of having completed this accelerated 8-week course of AMP. Typically, we have a full 16 weeks long semester to cover all the material that we have condensed for you in this very short period of time. So the fact that you made it, and you made it with as great grades as you have, is really a testament to your ability to manage a really intense workload, manage your time, manage your other obligations that go with this course. So I'm extremely proud of each and every one of you, and I really do truly appreciate all the great work that you've sent in throughout this semester. Single most thing that I want to make sure that everyone is aware of is that since this is the last week of the semester, this week will not continue all the way till the end of the calendar week. Instead, this semester and this course is ending on the coming Thursday. That is the July 20th. So I ask you to make sure that any work that you want to count towards your final grade is submitted by the end of the day on Thursday. And on that note, let's have a quick look of what to expect from this week, what it is that I'm asking you to do. Well, I'm asking you to look at our very last chapter, which is the chapter 16 on special senses. And for that chapter, I have as a homework for you a quiz for chapter 16. This is actually due on the coming Wednesday. So make sure to make a note of that early due date for that quiz. In addition to the chapter quiz, I'm asking you to complete your final tests for this semester. So we will have exam 3 and practical 3. Both of these are due at the end of the day on Thursday. And you'll see the points that they're worth of. So I would probably encourage you to try to make sure that you get those done. It is worth of catching those generous numbers of points that add up from those real quickly. So let's have a quick look of what to expect with the exam 3. Exam 3 really covers everything to do with the nervous system. So we're looking at chapter 12, Introduction to Nervous System, chapter 14, the central nervous system, chapter 13, the peripheral nervous system, and chapter 15, which was all to do with autonomic nervous system. This exam consists of 22 questions, which are strongly based on the material that you have completed as part of your homework quizzes for these chapters. You will have 60 minutes to complete this exam, and it needs to be taken as a single setting. So once you start the exam, that's it. Remember that you are welcome to use your notes throughout this exam. I have 2 sample questions there of the exam. It might consist of multiple choice questions, fill in a blank, ordering or ranking questions. Also, it is possible that there's matching questions and also true-false questions. So the very first 2 questions in the exam are in fact true-false questions. First question asks you whether a nerve cell is known as a neuron. And second question asks you whether it's true that accents carry signals towards the body of a nerve cell. So that should give you an idea of what kind of questions to expect and the level of depth that the questions go to. In terms of the practical covers the very same chapters, and on this practical, I've listened to feedback that I received from the practical too, and I've condensed the practical into 15 questions. Again, those 15 questions that you'll be taking are largely based on the practice anatomy assignments that you have completed as part of the weekly homework. You will have 30 minutes to answer these 15 questions. Typically, the questions are formatted with a picture and something being asked about that picture, typically identification, and I give you a list of options from which I ask you to choose the correct option. You have to take this exam again, or this practical test again in a single setting. So once you start, you should finish the test at the same sitting. Remember, you're welcome to use your notes for this practical test as well. One final thing that I ask from you, which is really actually rather important for me, is that I ask you to look to this week's learning modules. Right before the learning module for tests, you will see a module that's labeled as end of semester feedback. There, you will be able to click on the link, which takes you to a Google survey webpage. There I have a few questions about your experience of taking this class, and I would really appreciate you completing that survey. Once you get to the very last page of this survey, in this survey I have 2 different pages. It's not a huge number of questions, and some of the questions are optional, but it is a little different format than the one that we took for the midterm. Make sure that you grab a screenshot, or you can even use your own phone to capture a picture of the finishing screen where it says that thank you for submitting the survey. Then you can go back to the canvas and upload that final screen picture that you took to the assignment portion of this module. This way I will know to give you points for completing this survey. If for some reason you miss from catching that final screen picture, you can always go to the assignment and just type in the date and time when you took the survey. The answers of the survey are not matched with your details, so I will never know who answered what, but this way I'll be able to make sure that everyone who completed it also gets the credit for it. I would like to remind you that the results of these surveys are really important for my supervisors as they review the continuation of the contracts for each of the faculty members. So I would really appreciate it if you can consider what worked well and provide feedback about that as well. Obviously, I want to have an idea if there's something that I should change for the class as well. So this week's chapter, and I think that it's actually chapter 16, so I might have the number there on the screen incorrect, looks at special senses. We have talked about touch when we talked about the skin at large. So we'll be focusing on vision, taste, smell, hearing, and sense of balance. When you look at the lecture material that I have prepared for you, my heavy focus is really on the eye. And that's really because about 70% of body's sensory receptors are actually located on the eye, and about half of the cerebral cortex is dedicated for the visual processing. So an important sense, and a sense that we greatly rely on. There are other senses, and you'll be able to dive into deeper to those with the help of your textbook. So one question that I can imagine students asking is what happens next? What happens after Thursday when you've submitted the very last of the assignments? And obviously, I encourage you to submit a rate rather earlier. So in case you have technical issues, you can let me know and we can still navigate through. But first thing on Friday, I'll be finalizing your grades. And once I have finalized your grades, you will receive an announcement from me where I tell you to go and check your grade book on the Canvas. This is to make sure that all the grades that have been recorded to the grade book are accurately reflecting your work. And that gives you the final last chance to reach out to me and let me know if there's any issues with those. After that, I'll be submitting the grades to the registry, and once the grades have been submitted to the registry, I typically do not offer any chances to change those. So this is really the time to do those final things that need to be done to change your final grades for this course. So I think we've covered everything that I had set out to do on this brief pre-recorded weekly session video. I appreciate you joining me on this. And remember that I am still available for you through messages. Canvas messages are preferred. And also through our live online virtual office hours on the Tuesday from 1 to 3 o'clock. I appreciate each and every one of you for having been part of this semester, and I look forward to updating you about your final grades for this class. Until then, bye.